Welcome back. It's Dem Boys Watch Footy. Hope everybody is enjoying their bank holiday today, Labor Day weekend in the States, bank holiday over in the UK. We also had the Caribbean Day Parade, which we really often go to here in New York. Gents, TC and Waj, how you doing
Bar drama, surprise upsets, and late free kicks. No, that's not a recipe. That's the Premier League. Welcome back.
today?
Yeah, man, good to be back. It's been a hectic weekend with ups and downs for all of us here. But yeah, good to be back.
Whoa, whoa. Yeah, he said,
Speaking of
Yeah,
ups
you
and
get the ups.
downs,
Yeah, you get the ups. Yeah, yeah, we'll get to that. Calm
speaking of
down.
ups and downs, want to thank everybody again for giving us a listen to Dem Boys Watch Footy. Even though we haven't gone up too much over on the YouTube side, still much appreciated that we are over 1.15K. So really happy about all of that, how we're moving there. People are starting to really give us some love over on IG. Been meeting a lot of different content creators all over ever since the games have started again. So much appreciated to having all of you on, and looking forward to trying to get some more people on. So if you guys are watching this live or you watching this or listening over Spotify, thank you again. But as Waj said, there was a lot of ups and downs this past weekend. Manchester United finally got their first win of the Premier League campaign, while Arsenal lost to the title favorites in Liverpool this past Sunday, 1-0 to the Liverpool. It was a really tough game to watch. It was a very defensive battle in the midfield. And it took a moment of brilliance. Dominique Szoboszlai of Hungary, he came clutch with one of those just amazing free kicks. You almost never see a free kick goal, especially 30 yards out, get scored that late. It was a lot of drama, but ended up being a pretty clean game. Liverpool won 1-0. Now they are full through. We have some more to talk about with this Liverpool squad, but want to start with the match. What did you gents think? I'll start over with TC, who is loves to say he's the unabashed, non-biased member of the team. So
yeah, look,
You forgot to get down to.
thank you, and thank you for that, Eric. I appreciate it. Look, I think you hit a lot of the very similar notes. I think what I saw a rhetoric along the way is that the better team was on the day. Let's be honest. Not let me not say it. The team that's playing better football was Liverpool. What Arsenal were doing very well was not allowing Liverpool to play flowing football. Okay, so what we saw was this game of two different strategies, but one was designed to counter the other. Okay, one was designed to nullify the threats of the other, while the other one was designed to score, right? And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think people say, "Oh, how can they play like that?" You play like to your strengths and to your opposition. You hit the nail on the head with the free kick. I think, you know, what we saw was an early sign of two of the teams going for the title, and I think because of the earliness of it, I don't think it will have real serious repercussions.
I'd agree with that. Definitely agree with that. And I'm actually I'm quite, optimistic that just for the pure fact that, as TC said, this was two varying systems going head to head with each other, and the team with the most hunger on the day won. But nothing could be scored from open play. It had to be done via Dominic Szoboszlai's free kick, and it was a banger. Like let's give him his flowers for that. Um, but to TC's point, because this match was so early in the season, I think this will actually work to our benefit. Now of course that deadline day is over. We're going to get into that, but that wasn't even the strongest side that Liverpool were going to be able to field, and neither was also the same for Arsenal. So let's see how this is going to play out further. As the weeks turn over. But again, back to the original point, I think this was a great match. But it was literally decided in the midfield, and it was very slow. It was dragged on because you just have two varying different styles going head to head with each other.
yeah, but Waj, I do have to bring it back as an Arsenal fan as well. Gotta ask, how are you feeling about Arteta's tactics? I mean, seeing that match and seeing last season when we played against Bournemouth with just about the same midfield. We had Marino, we had Declan Rice. Last year we had Thomas Partey. You can swap that for Zubimendi, and we had the same exact result. Essentially, we lost Saliba in that match as well, but we were at least having Christian Mascara to replace him for this match. Red card last year. Tactically, even though we know that he's set up to be a very pragmatic approach, he wanted to bring it and drag the game down, make it a lot more down and dirty. Are you really happy with those tactics? Are you happy to not really see free flowing football? Because we did have on the bench, we did have Odegaard, we did have Ethan. Even though Eze was going to come on in the second half, we knew that was going to be the game plan because he just joined. Are you really happy with the tactical approach that Arteta went with?
It always worries me when we don't have the likes of Odegaard or Saka on the pitch, and I think you can see the creativity get drained out of the team very quickly, and that's what we saw on Sunday. Once again, not having Odegaard in the middle, I think was the tactically we weren't able to really get proper open play out. Gyökeres wasn't able to do his thing. Yes, Madueke, had some fantastic runs, but other than that, it like I said, it was a game played in the middle because they could not get tactically the creativity needed to put a proper onslaught against a team to Liverpool's caliber. So no, it does not make me happy. It makes me a bit trepidatious to see how we're going to go throughout the rest of the season. With the likes of not having Odegaard in the team, what does that happen? How does that affect us? But to your point, will Arteta change his tactics to bring on the likes of Onwaneri on earlier to be able to get that creativity, and will Eze be able to come on and swap out for Odegaard as well? So that's what I think we need to see tactically. But we just did not have that on Sunday.
Yeah. I wanted to bring you into this, TC, because I know you love to talk about how Bruno, as the midfield maestro that he is, he knows how to dictate matches. Now, something that I am very critical on with Arteta is his subs, especially late in matches. Tactically, I was very happy with what I saw from Odegaard when he came on. When he brought on Eze, we actually had like some umph in that midfield as well as on the left side. Martinelli, that's a different story. Something that needs to be shored up, especially for the rest of the season. Super sub, I hope. But TC, when you watched that match, when outside of the moment of magic, did you really think that Liverpool? They were pretty stymied for about 60 minutes of the match, and then they turned it on and were able to get that foul from Zubimendi. But like in that midfield, are you really seeing like things that can be improved upon, or are you feeling as though it's just the same old Arsenal Netflix FC?
No, look, I think, you made some significant signings, boys, and I think what you have to realize is that the team needs time to gel. And what we tend to forget, being armchair critics, sitting here easily criticizing the coach in terms of what he's been working towards that game for the whole week, putting into prep, utilizing what he's got. You have to trust in him as your coach for now, that he has utilized the best that he has, because he's had 6 days to work with this team, to work into formations and what's good. What I do see is absolute development. I think what you're seeing is it's the beginning of the season, Unfortunately, what you see is a bit of stagnation in the sense that you need time for the teams to gel. You need time for the players to gel with each other, which is all going to take place. I think there's also what you saw was a hostile environment in which that was one of the cauldrons in which a midfield, one of the hardest places for a midfield to perform, let's be honest, is at Anfield. So I think taking that into consideration, it being very a thevous, hostile environment, I think with what you had, I think you performed mightily well. Losing your main centre back, keeping the game at 0-0, I think that just shows you in terms of the kind of structure. The game was really fought in between those two pillars of the boxes, which is really where, like, when a game is played like that, that means that like the tactics are really cancelling each other out specifically. And that is done because, you have a great respect for each other and for each other's teams. And therefore, you are both giving each other the amount of respect that good teams deserve, but sometimes too much respect. So you're not taking the impetus that is needed until later on when you start to see the clock going down. I think in terms of your question there, Erica, yeah, I think there's been definitely some growth. I think you have to give the team time. I think what you have to do is trust in Arteta to believe in the team that he sets up is the best in his eyes and his team's eyes, based on the data and the things that have had that week. He's not willy nilly here coming deciding to choose something based on how I feel. No, people, you must understand this is science and data driven as well as like football IQ. So we are unfortunately not privy to it unless we're able to really look at it and say the way he set up was because Liverpool have got three in the middle, and when they're without the ball, their centre backs with their centre backs join up with the ball. Centre backs go inside to the middle to add the fifth to give fifth man, so you get overloaded. So sometimes teams have to, specifically in the midfield, have to counter that, otherwise they get overrun. So with Liverpool at home, the emphasis is on them to score. We know that. I say we. Netflix, I mean, Arsenal know that. So what they do is they specifically have to protect it, and they did very well. To be fair, you lost because of a moment of brilliance, single moment of brilliance. You know, good goalkeeping, good team. So I think based off that, a one-off match in which was lost on a free kick, great development, and like Roger said earlier, I think it's just good signs to go to build on. We went to the champions of England and lost. So
Yeah.
what?
I mean, one of the issues that I'm feeling though is especially with the newest news that just came out today with the transfer of Alexander Isak. He comes over from Newcastle. He is considered the second best, potentially could be the first, the greatest striker in the Prem right now, especially now that he's moving over to Liverpool. Liverpool were able to sign him from Newcastle for 130 million pounds. They just broke the British transfer record twice in the same window, making their spending spree up to $566.48 million. Euros wise, that's about 500 million euros. So,
Damn.
yeah, it is a sight to behold. It's not the days where Jurgen Klopp was famously saying, "We cannot compete with Manchester City financially. We have to do these things." But now seeing that they have Isak to be able to join up, how do you gents think the title race is going to kind of fill out from here? Especially Liverpool not looking the strongest within their first three matches and still getting all 9 points. TC, I'll throw this one back over to you.
Oh man! First of all, let's like, are we? Are we gonna go back and talk about the other results? Or are we going into transfer
No,
talk?
we're gonna talk about the other results, but
Okay.
gotta give this Isak news some love.
Look. We've seen this happen before with other teams and other leagues and teams trying to build galactalos, whatever. I think
Galacticos.
I think Isak number one man of made of he's what do you call made of glass, very injury prone. But 8-1 in terms of odds for the Golden Boot adds to their firepower of glowing rates, their glowing roster of firepower, unheard of, breaking all. This is the biggest spend by any team so far, and I think what you need to see is how does he fit into the team. Now that means there's a lot of competition. What does that mean for egos? For how does Arnie juggle that? How do people perform? How does he give the right people game time? How do you keep people at their best in order to perform? That's the kind of thing you start to deal with. Okay, it's not easy. It's not easy. We've seen a lot of teams with all the names. It doesn't matter if you're PSG or Real Madrid. It doesn't matter if you still struggle against teams who have got the kahunas and, like you said, the want to win that game. So that will come down to it, I think. But on paper, great buy, great addition. Like they seemingly seem like they, have got all the tools to retain their crown.
Yeah, Waja, before I give it to you, we saw Kanote, their center back, go down. Their deal with Mark Guehi coming over from Crystal Palace fell through today. It's one of the very first times that we've seen that in transfer history happen, especially on deadline day. Crystal Palace weren't able to find a replacement. And the center back that they were going to pair with Virgil whenever Konate got injured didn't go through. That defense still looking shaky, even though They were able to get that clean sheet against us. But got to throw it back to you. Now that you know, attack-wise, they are quite amazing, and defensively, they're a little bit fragile. Waj, like, what are you thinking for that title?
Hold on, Waj, before you jump into it. Eric, you just said two
Yeah.
things that I have to give before I apologize to be interrupted. You said the greatest striker, number one. Okay.
I said one of the greatest strikers.
You said at the moment. When you say that, no, he is one of the leading strikers at the moment in our league, not the greatest. Okay, that's like saying anyway. Then the second thing is what you've just said. Damn it, now I forgot. About okay, watch it go.
All right. Well, look. You know, like I think everyone has been, reacting to these transfers, especially with the Isak transfer. I mean, it was a stupendous move by them. Isak, obviously bullied his move from Newcastle over to Anfield. And on paper, as TC said, great buy. This is arguably one of the strongest squads in Europe going into this season. Now with these final buys that Liverpool has just made, but as he said as well, Isak is injury prone. And we never know what's going to happen. It's too early to predict. But yeah, on paper, I mean, just having the likes of Ekitike, Wirtz, and Isak added to your squad on top of everyone else they already have, I mean, they've just gone crazy. But let's not forget, like, they just also lost Florian Wirtz to an injury on Sunday, as well as Konate. So this is the Prem. And this is going to be a crazy year. It being World Cup year means I expect injuries left and right. So the question is, do they have the depth, and not do they have, but they have the depth to get to the whole season. But can they get to the whole season without losing too many of their stars? That is the question. And if they can do that, then yeah, I mean, statistically speaking, Liverpool looks like they're going to win the league. But it's the Prem.
Yeah.
Do that. So you raise a great point there. It is a Prem, and anything can happen. Which reminded me of what I wanted to say before about Eric's point about deadline transfers. There was a Nigerian gentleman. I'll tell you the story. He was at West Brom, and he drove on deadline day to Tottenham, thinking he was going to get signed. He was at the gates of Tottenham. They wouldn't let him into the gates because the deadline had fallen through, and he refused to drive back to West Brom. And so they forced him to do that. And there's a very famous photo of him at the gates, taken like, why won't you let me in? So you have these trepidations on deadline day, which I just can't believe that Liverpool were able to get like all these done. I mean, I was looking at the money spent. I mean, this is the biggest period, the biggest transfer period ever spent, of a club of ever spent is them. It's crazy the amount of money, and I don't know if this is from everything else. I mean, but also I look across at everyone else. Like, we have really invested across the board here. Yeah. I think just across all the teams, and we'll discuss it later, I'm sure. Anyway.
Yeah, we as in Manchester United, for you, you did a lot of buys in, and then you did a lot of outs. You had a lot of players going on loan. You had a few. Anthony going to Real Betis. That is actually a permanent deal, which is free money for you guys. But with Liverpool, because I want to also wrap this up, because of Liverpool not spending any money and last season, and then as well winning the Premier League and getting Champions League money again, they had the coffers. Also, the last point with Liverpool, they sold a lot of players this season. So Luis Diaz, they made money from Nunez. They've made money from Curtis Jones. Like, they got a chance to balance the books just within this window of buys. So kudos to them in their front office, really piecing that together, especially from the days of Klopp saying, like, I can't compete. Like, we're doing this with scraps.
Well, then what about Netflix FC? I mean, you guys got Mandzukic, Zubamendi, Norgard, Eze for 67, Victor Gyorkes for like whatever, it's 55 plus add-ons. You guys also, I mean, who and where is this money coming from? I mean, seriously.
if you're able to stay in Champions League for longer than a couple years, suddenly money really flows through. And the Premier League has one of the strongest media deals within the entire country. I mean, actually, the strongest media deal in the world. It's higher than
Yeah,
both
I was
the
gonna
NFL
say.
and NBA. So the top four who qualify for Champions League also get that European money, those European dollars. They're already strong brand deals. Yeah, the Premier League is the most wealthy media deals in the world. So every other league is trying to emulate that, and that's why teams in the Premier League, even when they're low, they're still able to buy whatever they want.
Well,
But yep, I wanted to jump over to other matches this weekend. Before we get to Manchester United, TC brought up VAR drama. Now, this match with Chelsea versus Fulham, I don't know if the full squad was able to watch this, but I feel really bad for Fulham's manager, Marco Silva. You could see in his face, he was just defeated by how VAR has been treated, especially within his match. There was a foul for Fulham's goal that didn't count because the player made a footballing move, picking up his foot, winning the tackle, and then landing on another player's foot because that's where his foot was logically supposed to land. Like he had momentum wise, he couldn't move his foot. But if you see it in a very insular position, where VAR like really said, "Hey, you should probably take a look at this." Um, they were just tough undone. And then right after that, because of the time that was added on to say that this was no goal, Chelsea was able to score a goal within the stoppage time of the first half. So, and then from there in the second half, VAR then said that there was no handball for a pretty obvious handball from João Pedro, and then João Pedro was able to draw a handball from the Fulham team, and their team was able to score from that for Chelsea to win 2-0. Now, Wash, like, what do you think of VAR within the country? I haven't really enjoyed its implementation. Other countries kind of have it together, especially with like offsides, automation, goal line technology has been good, but VAR has been like very bad within the Premier League specifically. So, would love to hear your thoughts on it.
VAR is always going to be this contentious topic, right? And I think we all are happy when it's in our favor, and we lose our damn minds when it goes against us.
Very true.
And it also depends on the referee and who are the referees in the VAR room
Yeah.
who are making decisions. Sometimes we've all seen decisions that are clearly fouls, red cards, penalties that should go one way and they don't happen. And I mean, it's insulting. But then we've seen stuff where it goes in our favor and maybe it shouldn't have. So honestly, I have a hate it or love relationship with VAR. Like I said, I think when it works in our favor, it's great.
Yeah.
But we've seen way too many situations, not just as an Arsenal fan, we see way too many situations in football where I'm like, yo, these guys are mad. Who's in the room telling these guys to go, to go watch the screen, or worse yet, when they don't call something and they don't even let the referee go to go have a second opinion. Those are the days that really just that's what grinds my gears. It really gets me. So yeah, man, it's honestly VAR is a hate it or love it experience. I love what we're seeing with goal line technology right now. There've been some great goals, and also some great goals that have been um, not overturned, but have been results
Yeah.
of really great goal line technology. But VAR, I mean, shit, yeah. Fulham got screwed over,
Yeah.
this match. But who knows? Maybe next week or 2 weeks from now, maybe they'll be the ones doing the screwing, and maybe it's gonna be um, you know not too kind
Yeah.
on the opposition. So yeah, man, I'm a hate it or love it on VAR.
Cool. TC, before I jump it over to you, I mean, some of the things in VAR, especially we know that it does bring the human element into it. What I'm looking at and what you're looking at, TC, completely can be different things. But I love one of the topics that people always bring up, the letter of the law. Sometimes not all, like referees are supposed to know all rules, but sometimes those can be broken down into the human experience of what you're seeing with your eyes directly when the match is happening. So
I think that
want to
refers to
see where
context.
you kind of lie, not just the result for Fulham versus Chelsea this past weekend, but like VAR overall within the Premier League. Has it been good? Has it been bad to you?
No, I think, and I'm going to separate goal line technology from VAR because those are two separate things.
For sure.
So VAR absolutely has definitely been debatable. I think in the context of this match, the even the PGMO MOL have come out and said, and that's the refereeing guys who look after VAR have said they fucked up. So I
I'm
think
tired
it,
of that. I'm so tired of someone saying like, "Oh yeah, we
well,
messed up."
look, to be fair, let's be honest, boys. This is a game that's run by humans.
Yeah,
Humans
make
are
mistakes.
make mistakes. And I don't know whatever sport you play, humans have made mistakes. Whether it's American football, I've seen it with all the fucking cameras. I've seen the same shit happen. So let's just assume that this isn't an isolated, oh my god, incident. What I'm saying is that like, I think it was a shitty call. Like it was unlucky for them because that teenager deserved to score that great goal.
Mhm.
And it's unfortunate when you have cameras and then you're going over it over and over, and you're still coming to this crazy result. I think to your point though, Eric, I think that's exactly what happened, right? They led it to the letter of the law. You know, his foot made contact with the player that obstructed him without going for the ball, and etc. etc. He did make a fuss. Had he not made a fuss, that play could have gone on. And I think Waju, I like that point that you mentioned about depends on who's refereeing as well and how they see that. You know, it's about the context of what goes on. So there are a number of factors in that. I think in general, VAR has really allowed us to be fair. There's really been more times, if I'm honest, VAR has come through with the correct call than less. And that's
Mm,
just, unfortunately, I know it feels like, especially, I saw a statistic to say that, well, the last few seasons, Arsenal has been let down by VAR the most, but last season it was Manchester United for a fact. We were the ones that, who were let down by VAR the most. But Arsenal have, like, for 3 seasons in a row, had been let down. So I can completely understand why you, Arsenal fans, might feel debated by it. We've seen issues, though, where without VAR, we might have seen unpunished tackles, you know, things that have just would have gone unpunished, So unfortunately, it is an ongoing thing that they're trying to fix all the time. If you haven't seen from where we started VAR to what it is now, you know, and they're trying to build on it. I think that both you and both the supporters of the clubs that we support have just been on the wrong end more times than it feels like it, and it feels like VAR's against us. But it is to better the judgment and to assist the referees. But with that shit we saw the other day with the Fulham thing, the fact the
yeah.
referee looked at it and is being told that, what the commentator said was interesting. The referee has the power to say to them,
No.
no. You
Yeah.
could say, "Great, thank you for this. Go fuck yourself. This is not what I'd like, And we haven't seen that yet. And I'd love to see that, especially, because I was looking at that momentum of what the player did. Was he did what Waj would call the football move, and you football move, where he did the swerve turn,
Mhm.
and doing so, the only issue that I was looking at in slow mo is that he didn't collect the ball, and which is why, and then his left foot stood on that foot, but it was a planted foot.
Hmm.
I do believe that we're playing a contact sport, and there are going to be innocuous challenges. If that is where that one does come down, because he was the one who had the ball in his possession, it wasn't like he was the defending player. Then, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, to kind of finish this point out, seeing that happen in real time, I thought the transparency now, I like that the Premier League is trying to take an MLS approach where the referees
absolutely.
have to explain what they see.
Yeah.
But I feel as though we should also get why the VAR wanted to review it in the first place. Hey, we saw this knock, like the referee says, the team saw the knock, this was my thoughts and this is why, like, it still needs one more step. And I understand, like, yes, this is all run by humans and this is all like still just review. It's still still within its infancy. So hopefully, especially about this new World Cup coming up, people like these other leagues, it feels as though they understand how to use VAR correctly, but I'm very, very, very hopeful that the Premier League can get it, especially because, as we just said, the most money is running within the Premier League. You cannot have it look like the amateur league when some of these challengers or some of these goals get disallowed or some of these PKs don't get through. That's all I have to bring to it.
Like, you were basically saying they're not allowed to make any mistakes, mate. And
I'm not
Hey,
saying
bring us the robots, bro. Bring us
you
the
can
robots.
you can make mistakes, but they should not be a week in and week out thing. I should not be seeing 2 games per weekend where there's bad refereeing and there's bad VAR. When you have a chance to replay, like you have a chance to look at it, you're supposed to have independent eyes also helping the referee. And as you said, these referees are not saying no to these VAR assistants. So that's my only thing. Like, I want us to get to the better place, and we have to work these out. But I'm saying the money's there, and if you have money that is this great within a league, you cannot continue to have these issues kind of pop through. And that's the only thing I really have to tie a bow around it with it. So
I would just say if we just get Kit from Knight Rider, remember that robot? He was so nice. If we could just like run VAR, like we'd be all good.
As you tie a bow on my little fat friends, a question: as VAR has developed into the automated kind of realm, where they started to play with the automation of it, they kind of remove that for offsides, if you've noticed. So you kind of utilize the VAR element where it's immediate and it's an automatic machine which detects to eliminate the lines and the human error. Do you think, and as we tie a bow, and I apologize, do you think that's where you want it to go? Is it to be like a completely kind of like AI automated thing where it's like it really says, no, player did not fucking do that. No, did you play on, or that kind of thing?
No, like I said, I want the referee to say, hey, this is what VAR saw. This is my decision. Goal, game on, like whatever the situation is. That's where the step is being muddied. We as the viewers understand why VAR is happening, but we need to understand what the people in the booth are seeing compared to what the referee is seeing. That gives greater transparency. Being able to understand a decision that can affect money lines within betting, that can affect specific instances of score lines moving through or not moving through. Also, bringing in the fact that this extra time is being added on in crazy amounts. I should not be seeing players that are being overplayed have to play an extra 10 at the end of a half and then still have to play another 45 minutes plus an extra 7 minutes because the time was still not used all the way from the first half stoppage. That's all I want to say with this point. Appreciate you, Jay. Thank you for giving us a watch today. Want to switch over to Manchester United. TC, this was your squad. They defeated Burnley 3-2, and those were some of the craziest scenes I've seen in a little bit at Old Trafford. Everybody was so excited for that 97th minute Bruno penalty. But want to give it to you, want to give the floor because this is the first win of the campaign for Manchester United. So, TC, you take it.
Thank you for that, Eric. And secondly, this isn't the craziest thing we've seen at Old Trafford. Number one, everything for you is the craziest at the moment or the greatest. You sound like Donald Trump. Okay. It's a new season. Calm it down. Football's back. Okay, it's back.
It never left. It never left.
We are looking at Manchester. That's why I say that because this is Manchester United calamitous bullshit. So what you saw was an outpouring of a need to win. Okay, a fucking need to win. As you know, it's that part of the season where we have international breaks every month. So it really is like it was a need to go into international break with a win. We started very well, played very good fluid football. What I loved about Burnley is that they've got some good youthful players. Lyle Foster, an amazing South African who's really turning heads around there, who scored the first goal. You have this team that scores, but is unable to defend. They keep conceding, but to their effort, they were able to score their second goal within 15 seconds of their goals being scored against them, and it was kind of a back and forth thing the whole game. So for a supporter, it was one of the worst things to really be part of because as a Manchester United supporter, we were like, oh yeah, fuck the usual. Oh yeah, fuck. Literally, like, in fact, I was like, I don't. My team is so inconsistent. They have the inconsistencies of what you believe is the greatest. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to know. Like, it's almost like they have the same inconsistencies that you would have with cooking chicken at a barbecue. Do you know what I'm saying? Does that resonate with you really? So it's that's how crazy it is. It's like it's actually hard
you
for
were
me
gonna
to
barbecue.
watch a Manchester United match and know what's going to happen. They have the players. They have, and my coach came out and said he doesn't sometimes want to be at this job. I fucking believe him. I want to go back to fucking to Sporting to live in the fucking sun because this team is so diabolical. It's Heichel, it's Hyde, it's Jekyll and Hyde. But that being said, Manchester United had the resilience to keep on plugging in. They were making great efforts. I think what I saw from a team is that they're making a lot of chances. Their squad is nearly there. We have a new buy called Sesko. He's not quite match fit. Chaps, you asked this question. Why aren't you starting this player? Again, I'm going to go back to this point. When you have a coach who watches your player every day, you got to believe in what your coach is seeing. He's saying the dude is not ready. The dude ain't ready. He can only play so much. So believe him. He played 90 minutes the weekend before, to be fair, Eric, if I'm being honest. He played 90 minutes on Wednesday. And so, to be fair, it was really good for him we were worried about injuries. We did have an injury earlier, so it's important you got to manage that because he's just coming back to match fitness. So that's one of the reasons, to your question on the side about why we play that. So really frustrating. But of course, Bruno, a captain who knows what to do, okay? Martin Odegaard, you chop. I wish you could see what a real captain does. A real number 8. Okay? I don't know if you saw, for anyone who watched the end of the match, there was just, and it's my last point to it, and I apologize for dragging it on. The outpouring of emotion that came from Bruno as he scored the penalty that won the game.
Yeah.
I don't think players understand, and I scored 4 goals yesterday myself at my game, just in case anyone was wondering.
It doesn't count when they're under 10.
They were all grown men before. We'll get back to that. But the outpouring of emotion was something that I was thinking about watching Bruno score that goal because I sometimes go, it's a penalty, you didn't win it, and you score. When I take penalties for my team, I don't celebrate because I'm like, if I didn't win it, cool. It's kind of like everyone, yay. But that outpouring of emotion, I think, was just vindictive of how much it meant for the team. We needed that. And I know you Arsenal fans think that life's so great, but we needed that more than like an avocado needs to be ripened. Do you know what I mean? We needed that more than fucking people need to put gold trim on everything in the White House. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful for the win. It was an ugly win. It does make me feel that where we are is so far below the toilet seat that we are not even in the toilet. We are below that. Okay.
Question for you then. Are you happy with the system that Ruben is trying to stick with? Do you want to see more tactical flexibility?
Thank you for asking. That's a great question, Eric. I really appreciate it. You look beautiful in blue, by the way. I can't say this and then go back and say what I said about trusting your manager. We've had 3 coaches, all of which got fired this week. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I've all tried multiple.
Name them out. Ole Solskjaer, Jose Mourinho, Eric Ten Hag, all fired this past week. All managed for.
All fired. So I've all tried different systems. So no, I don't feel that we need to see a change. Just because it wasn't working there or that doesn't mean it doesn't work. Again, the man lives and breathes the same team while you and I go to our girlfriends, our jobs, our food, the traffic, the carnival today, everything else. This is what he does. So I got to trust in him to say that he's working through it. Of course, in my mind, as somebody who plays FIFA, I can suggest something else. But for what he sees with the players he has, I think I've got to trust him. And that's just my fact. Of course, I'd like to see a fluidity in being able to be a chameleon and change from a 5-4-1 to a 4-3-3 to a 4-4-2 to a 1-3-7. I would love to be able to do that. Of course. But
What possession is a 137? I'm like, damn.
Logic, close this out on this.
Baby.
Logic, close this out on Manchester United versus Burnley.
Yeah, close this out, boss. Tell us about what a real team won this weekend.
Yes, man. Yes. Well, let me close it up because I'm going to close it with more of a question than anything else. Look, you guys scraped the win from Burnley, and honestly, I mean, it was well deserved. Like you said, you guys needed that win more than anything else. I mean, Amarin looked dejected. Like if he didn't get this win, the bags are packed. The away bags are by the door, ready to go back to Portugal. Off you go. So he needed the win, and the fact that it's also Brandon Buemo got to score his, his childhood dream to score his goal. That was amazing. But like you said, the Bruno penalty, because again, if he had missed it, if he had missed it, it would have been a wrap for you guys. I think just mentally, it would have just drained you, and you would have gone into the international break completely dejected and very concerned into what your future is going to be for the rest of the season. So the fact that you didn't do that, the fact that Bruno scored it, your talisman, your capitan, as you like to put it, that he scored it, and again, going back to the emotion that he showed when he ran to the corner flag, was amazing. That's exactly what you guys needed. So the question is now, okay, that was against Burnley. You guys are playing City next.
That's right. That's
and
right.
Can you do it again? You got City and Chelsea for your next 2 matches, and then even after that, you got Brentford.
Okay.
I would mention like Europe, but you guys ain't good like that anymore. So Grimsby is still shouting at you guys. They're still
chanting. Okay, there we go. That's it. Woo! Let's go.
I'm not talking about Grimsby Town.
Listen. What's your question asking? Because I fucking want to answer right now. What is your question?
My question is, can you win against City on the 13th or on the 14th?
Easy question. We'll win against City and we will. Man United is so fucking inconsistent. I can tell you exactly what happens, Roger. It's so easy. It's rhetorical.
Prognosticate for you. Prognosticate.
Beat City. Woo! We will lose to Brentford, and whoever the fuck is next for the next 5 games, I guarantee you this: we will beat City and lose the next 5 games. Facts. I don't care if it's you and I playing. If the 3 of us make a team and play Man United after we beat City, we will beat them. That's how. Yeah, I'm not trying to insult them. I love those guys, but at the moment, that's how inconsistent they are. The issue that I have with Man United, and please, this is not me trying to blow my horn and being serious for a second. Unfortunately, being one of the most prescribed, watched over, listened to, eyes on club does mean that there is added pressure, specifically around players. For instance, Kobe Mino doesn't get to play a few games. All of a sudden, he did the same thing last season, by the way. It happened last season, much more. All of a sudden, it's like, yo, what's going on? What's the narrative is like, why isn't he giving time? Now he wants to leave to get game time, which is great. I was like, look, get him game time. Don't let him sell, but give him game time. Go to Crystal Palace where they're about to lose players there. Eze's leaving there, he'd be great. I believe he'll come back, the Jack Grealish that we needed, right? But there is this need to keep a squad around to learn into Amarin's thing, unfortunately. And this is the problem that I see is because now you've got a young kid who believes that he's good enough to be on the team, especially if your team is losing. It's hard to watch your team lose and then you see the same guys go out there after they lose 2 games and you sit there and you go, oh, these motherfuckers again. The same. These motherfuckers. What I mean? But then I gotta go, what are you doing in practice, son? What are you making him change his mind? Because maybe he's like, these are the best motherfuckers I got. But so what I'm trying to say is there is always this negative narrative at the moment around Manchester United, regardless if it's a couple of
everybody wants to hit the bully while they were down. So
exactly, the bullies bullied enough. You're right. We bullied all of you guys. We owned you forever. That is why you have small inferior complex, and this is why everyone likes to kick us when we're down. You know what I mean? That's it. End.
Okay, cool. I'm really looking forward, especially after this break. Uh, you brought up some really good points. There were some injuries in that match as well. Mason Mount got hurt. Matthias Cunha, your new signing, got hurt. So it's going to be very interesting. This new forward line. It's only Brian Mbumo is the only one left healthy from the starters because Mount and Acuna were playing interchangeably with him. So we'll see how the new signing Shesko or the previous old signing Xerxes or whomever else is going to slot in
So
as
whoever else, like, who's the
one of those three inside forwards. How
Kai
they kind
Rooney's coming through, son. Kai Rooney. Okay.
Okay, we'll see.
Mess
Other matches that happened this past weekend, we had 3-2. Everton defeating Wolves. Really great to see Jack Grealish doing well. Bournemouth, Harry's do it again.
Sorry, Eric, don't run past that one. Jack Grealish, 2 assists, playing like a champion. I think
he's got 4 assists this year. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, dog. That's great for him, you know. Great for
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Bournemouth, we got 1-0 over Tottenham. Really amazing to see. Iriola, that man again, just gets that squad. Semenyo, that guy's great. Like, I really like that squad from the South Coast. Sunderland, coming up with 2 wins already. 2-1 over Brentford. Leeds, 0-0 with Newcastle. Brighton with the big upset of the weekend, 2-1 against Manchester City. Manchester City gets injured. Ryan Shirky is out for 2 months. Their team kind of just looks lost. Rodri even said after the match, he was like, "I'm not God." Like, what's going on over there? What's going on with City right now?
Who watched that match?
Let me start off with this one because I said it last week. I was like, should we be a bit concerned for City? And you know what? I know I said it very early. It was only week 2, but there were signs of the cracks.
Yeah.
And they once again looked very lackluster throughout the whole match. They were able to pull, the goal back, but I mean, Brighton just
they
wasn't
had
having
the
it.
first goal, and then Brighton just roared back.
Yeah, sorry, right. You had the first goal, and then Brighton just wasn't having it. And it didn't seem like anything that Pep and the citizens wanted to throw at the Seagulls was not happening, and they just kept clawing themselves back, and they willed themselves to a 2-1 victory with the goal. What in the last 10 minutes? What time was that last goal? 89th minute by Gruda. It was fantastic, man. I mean, I watched that match and I was beside myself.
Yeah,
absolutely beside myself.
City had a lot of going out, but they also now have a new goalie come in. We'll bring that up when we do our transfer roundup after this. CTC's gone for a second. We'll wait for him. But just watching that match. You're back.
That Erling Haaland has bought like more Ferraris than he scored goals in the last few years. Okay.
He has 100 Premier League appearances and he has 88 goals.
Yeah, cool, whatever. The problem is
the goal to get them up.
The problem is when you set expectations to be fucking exceptional and you start acting mediocre. He had like 4 or 5 chances before he scored that goal, boys. I watched that game. He should have had a hat trick or 4 goals. That was his 5th chance. 5th. Not like easy, not like hard chance. 5th. Erling Haaland. So you're right. We should be worried. Watch him. Those motherfuckers. You got beaten by a 31-year-old fucking has-been who never played professional football with a broken knee who just tactically swept you across. He's doing amazing things there. He's doing amazing things there at Brighton. He is 31 years old, boys. 31 years old. He is literally showing you the tactical nuances across Pep. Pep couldn't even shake hands after that. Do you guys see Pep shake hands? No. Pep was so like...
Yeah, he was pissed. He was real pissed.
Yeah, you got beat by a child, bro.
Yeah, it's very interesting. You have to see the new evolution. These new players that are under Pep right now, it doesn't feel as though they fully grasp the system. And then as well, they don't nobody's afraid of City right now. They have to earn it. They have to earn it, you know?
I feel it's actually that's the biggest thing to take away from it right now. No one's afraid of City. A couple years ago, we would be shaking in our boots when the citizens came to your ground. You knew Erling Haaland would score on you no matter what you did. Kevin De Bruyne, all these guys would just run rings around all of us. It was terrible. He was a Terminator. Now, they people have learned Haaland's system. They've learned Pep's system, and you know they're not to be feared like they were 2 or 3 seasons ago. 3 seasons ago, we were shaking in our boots. Now, Pep who?
Exactly. If Arsenal can beat them, everyone can beat them. I think
Oh
it's now
boy,
right
oh
there.
boy.
Now, if you can beat them, everyone can beat them.
Well,
Yeah.
If you can beat them, then Grimsby. That means Grimsby can beat them. Yeah.
All right, we're moving on. We're moving on. West Ham defeated Nottingham Forest 3-0. That was a big one. And Crystal Palace.
no.
Nah,
You-
Crystal Palace defeated Aston Villa 3-0. It was supposed to be Mark Guehi's last match at Crystal Palace. He didn't want to clap it up. He was telling Dean Henderson get away from him. He just wanted to soak it all in, and now he's back with the squad. So it's going to be a very interesting campaign. Awkward, awkward at the end. Wanna before we sign off, want to talk about some of these really big transfers that have finished off during the day. Manchester City were able to get Donnarumma over from PSG, a really big one. It's weird because Donnarumma isn't really a ball player. Ederson was. He's going off to Fenerbahce.
Mhm.
So that's a new one. Manchester United got a new goalie from Royal Antwerp, Sine Lemens. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, I thought they were going to go for Emiliano Martinez, but somehow that didn't happen. He's been
Yeah,
really
they couldn't get over the line.
yeah, they couldn't get it through. So we'll
Whoa,
see how it goes.
whoa.
Whoa! Let me run through. We got a limited amount of time. Nicholas Jackson at Bayern Munich. It was off, then it was on, and then it was off. His people said, "Hey, we're not leaving Bayern," and then Chelsea was like, "No, you got to bring your ass here." And then he's back again over at Bayern for a loan move to end the year off. So we'll see how that kind of plays out, especially with Champions League. Bayern is going to have some really big matches. Harry Kane was the only striker, so now you got Nicholas Jackson as a backup. Now the fallout from Newcastle selling on Isak to Liverpool. You have Jan Wissa coming over from Brentford. He did the thing that he probably should have did was demand that he leave. Uh, he was it's very interesting. Brentford was the team to nurture him, made him look good, and then suddenly he's just like, you know what? Newcastle need me. I'm going to throw all my toys out the pram, and I'm just going to say, yeah, get me the fuck up out of here. So we'll see how that goes. Harvey Elliott to Aston Villa. That'll be an interesting one. Jadon Sancho to Aston Villa from Manchester United. That's a weird one to me.
Wow.
Kolo Muani, PSG to Tottenham. That's a very good one. And Piero Hinsapi from Bayer Leverkusen to Arsenal. And Anthony, as we said before, Manchester United to Real Betis. So, gents,
You're
how do
forgetting
you
you're forgetting Xavi Simmons as well over to.
Oh yeah, Xavi Simmons over. Well, it's just Xavi now, but that was yesterday. I'm just talking about all the deals that happened
Okay.
this Monday. But I want to see, like, with all of the additions so far, even abroad, what teams are you truly looking at to really compete in their spaces as well as the Champions League?
Anyone who spent
To
over
see how
200
much they
million?
go.
Sorry, sorry, is that TC?
Yeah,
Anyone who spent over 200 million? If you don't win your league, you're fucked.
no,
I'm looking at you guys. Huh?
yeah, okay. Huash, what about you?
Man, this year was crazy. I mean, so much money, so much cash was splashed. Like I said, as Liverpool look on paper, I mean, they spent so much money that it's coming out of their eyeballs. They made Man City look like chumps in this transfer window. So, like we said, on paper, Liverpool did the most, and Arsenal did amazing. What we bought 10 players in, and we still might not even come away with the championship. Like Jesus Christ, it's on another level. Um, it was interesting to see Tottenham after all the failings they had in trying to bring players in that they finally got. So they finally got a stronger team than I've seen in some time. So as much as I hate
Failings.
Spurs, I am failure. Morgan's right, failure.
How many
We
trophies did you guys
players.
win last season? How many did
Shut
they
up.
win?
Shut
So
up.
why they got failings? You guys need to watch your words here, boys. You got to be honest.
Listen.
Yes.
Listen,
They are the
listen,
best
listen.
team in North London right now.
Tottenham right now.
Yeah.
Tottenham right now are seriously going to have they've got obviously Thomas Frank as their manager, and they've made some amazing buys. So if there's one team to watch out for that I think have made some great buys from the manager over to their players, it's actually Tottenham. And I hate to say that because I truly do hate them, but I think they're going to be my black sheep.
Okay. Yeah, I am really interested to see how everything kind of just plays out in all of the different leagues outside of the Premier League. I want to see, especially the Turkish league, Fenerbahce, Galatasaray. I want to see how they actually compete within the European leagues. Like, because they now have that government money, quote unquote, and the purse strings are just let loose, and they were actually able to participate within the transfer market this year. I want to see what they do, especially in Champions League, Europa League. They gotta go. Like, the reason why Jose Mourinho was fired and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was fired, specifically, they knew that these new signings were coming in, and they were pissed that they didn't get that Champions League money. They lost within their qualifiers. So I want to see how that plays out, especially with Galatasaray coming over for the Champions League, which is really awesome whenever Turkey is over in Champions League. And I want to see how this Manchester City experiment with Donnarumma is going to work.
Yeah.
Like, James Trafford was actually having a pretty decent time, and James Trafford is less of a ball player than Ederson was, and I think Donnarumma is even less of a ball player than him. So
Most definitely.
So how is Pep going to do this? But amazing shot stopper, like some of the greatest saves I've ever seen was in that semifinal match against Arsenal. So especially that second leg, he was cooking, and he just said, "Nah, Saka, you can't go." Yeah,
Would you take Donnarumma or who's your keeper right now? Is it Raya?
Right,
Right.
right now. I'm good with him. I'm good
You
with
take Raya over Donnarumma?
the system that we have. I'm good.
No, if money wasn't a choice, you had to choose on a plate right now. Who would you choose?
Raya is one of the top 3 goalies in the world as of right now, and I would clearly say he's number 3. I would say Donnarumma is number 1. I would say Jan Oblak over at Atletico Madrid is number 2, and I would say Raya is number 3, Courtois is number 4. So that's my rating for goalies.
Yo, this is a whole segment right here. Okay, go ahead, Wajo. Who's your top?
We don't have the time.
Top 4. We call it our top 4. Fuck that. Come on, Wajo. Who's your top 4?
It's not on now. I'll tell you that much.
We don't have the time. But where I want to end, Luis Suarez, you pussy. Fuck you, man. I am tired of having to talk about you. I am tired of having to deal with different things that I'm reading about you, of how you disrespect people on the field and off. This time, your team was losing in the League's Cup final. You got smacked by the Seattle Sounders 3-0, and you decided to spit on a Seattle Sounders staff member. Fuck you, man. Like, I'm tired of you. I hope you retire. I want you out. I want you gone. I don't ever want to hear about you playing the sport of football ever again. Fuck you. Gents.
Damn.
Yeah,
right there. Right? Yeah, but I'm done.
It was like someone went inside and tried your keter. Yeah.
I'm tired of him, man. I am tired.
You step on your sneaker? What the hell?
I'm tired of him.
You see it, I'm like, yo, you need a minute?
No, wait. Do you think that he is just the fact that he clearly plays with passion on his heart and sleeve?
That's not passion. Spitting on someone is disrespect. Biting someone is disrespect. Calling
Eric Cantona kicked someone in the head.
You're from a different
Eric Cantona kicked someone in the head.
Disrespect.
Yeah, and then he didn't play football anymore, and he had to recreate his life.
He didn't play for 7 months, came back, then he won the Premier League. So shut the fuck up.
I don't care about like there's a point where the
I'm asking the question.
no,
Is
there's a point with the on-field performances cannot deter from the actual character of the person.
do you hear what the player,
Same
the
thing in
person
other
said?
sports. I say the exact same thing with other things that I see, domestic violence within other sports. I say the exact same thing. When it's people like
Did you
that,
hear what he
I
said to
call
him?
it out like that. What?
Did you hear what got said to him?
What got said to him?
I don't know. I'm hoping something was said to him so that he would have had that result. Otherwise, like, then he's an asshole. But you're right. Look, I think, we do hold players to a higher standard to hold the emotions. I, as a very volatile and loud-spoken individual on the field, is someone who someone tackles you hard. I can understand why there's that part, but it's in your own being. So you're right. Maybe he needs to do some therapy to be like, listen, my guy,
It's not
you can't
therapy.
do
Like that's
that.
just the person. Like that's someone that knows that they've gotten away with things. I'll never forget when he did the purpose handball. Look, it was a good football move. At the end of the day, Asmo Jean, he needed to score that goal to make sure that Ghana moved forward
At the
within the
stadium,
World
yeah.
Cup. He didn't. Kudos to him. He was able to save his team. His team lost without him because he was suspended for those 3 matches. That's cool. That's where I say he wears his heart on his sleeve in the right way. But when that Everest stuff goes on, Manchester United player, I'm like, all right, what really happened in this instance? Everett was trying to be the bigger man in this space. I've listened to him talk crap about Arsenal all the time, but I still respect him as a man. That happens. I'm still pissed off about the whole Chiellini biting incident, and we've seen Luis Suarez bite someone else before. I'm tired. I'm tired of having to. Like, you can see very specific things with a person's character where you're just like, yo, this person's irredeemable. And he's very lucky that he's best friends with the greatest player of our generation. But I want him gone. And that's why I have such vitriol for that man. So,
Well, stand on that business then.
yes,
Stand
sir.
on that
Far
business.
out.
Yeah.
But want to thank all of our listeners today. Thank you for chatting in. Would love to hear what you guys think. When you guys listen to us on the podcast sphere over on Spotify, over on Apple Podcasts, please let us know what you think. It's your boy TC. It's your boy Waz. Just your man's E. Thank you again for giving them Watch Footy a listen tonight. Have a great one.
Thanks, peeps.
Thank
Remember,
you.